Hobby Quick Hits, delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 225 of Hobby Quick Hits. It is time for our annual Major League Baseball Season and Hobby Preview. We're going to go through both leagues, give you award winners, predicted award winners, players to watch, players to maybe on the downslide, hobby-wise and on the field. Rookie of the Year, MVP, Cy Young. Will give us our six predicted playoff teams in each league, and predict even a World Series winner. So, again, don't go to DraftKings or FanDuels with any of my dialogue, but might help you. Just it's fun to do. We do it every year. And it's fun to see, what we got right and what we got wrong. We're going to kind of a quiet news week, so we're just going to do the product release schedule and then dive right in to the Major League Baseball preview. I'm going to be doing the release calendar for this episode. Let's start with March 25th, 2026, Topps Major League Baseball and NBA official collector's kit. I think you'll see those at Collectors Club, maybe Walmart. We have also on the 25th, the 2025/26 Panini Contenders EuroLeague Basketball. 2025 Upper Deck World of Sports Volume 2. Let's go to the 2026 Top Series 1 Baseball Celebration Megas. Let's move to the 27th of March, 2026 Leaf Pop Century. 2025 Panini Silhouette Football. Pokemon 2026 Mini Portfolios. Pokemon Mega Evolution Perfect Order. Blister Packs, Booster Bundles, and Elite Trainers. Let's go to the end of the month. March 31st, 2026 Onyx Vintage Collection Baseball, their hobby and their megas. Now on to March 1st. I'm not fooling. 2025 Panini Prism WNBA Basketball. 2025 Topps Chrome Marvel Deadpool. Get out your checkbook for 2025 Topps Transcendent Collection Baseball. Also on the 1st, 2025 Topps WWE Exalted. Moving to the 2nd, 2026 Super Break Supercharged Edition. And one last one for the 3rd, 2026 Panini USA Stars and Stripes Prism Baseball Hobby. So there's your releases for the next couple weeks. And as you always know what I say, choose your weapon. Happy ripping.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, it is time for our annual tradition of our Major League Baseball Season and Hobby Preview. Like I said in the intro, we're going to go through and predict or give candidates for award winners, division winners, wild card teams, Rookie of the Years, MVP, Cy Young. If you're a regular listener to the show, you're very familiar how we do it. We're not going to change anything, and it's always fun to look back and kind of see how what we get right and what we get wrong. As always, the disclaimer: don't take any of the information I give you and bet your life savings on a sports bet, or if you do, that's of your own discretion. All right, so let's go with let's start out with division winners in the American League. And, I still think Toronto wins the AL East. They've got I know they lost Bichette They added some other pieces that we'll talk about in a little bit, including Dylan Cease as the pitcher. I think this is the year the Royals really put it all together and win the Central. And I'm a believer in the Texas Rangers. I think DeGrom is back to, healthy Cy Young contender DeGrom. And they got some young hitters as well. Added Brandon Nimmo in the trade with my Mets. So I go Toronto, Kansas City, and Texas. Let's go to the National League. And last year I did not pick my team. I didn't want to be a homer, and I kind of knew they weren't going to win the division. Excuse me. This year I'm picking them. I'm a believer. I think they've, if you would have asked me 2 months ago, I probably would have had a different answer. They made some late moves. They've got some young guys playing very well. And I'm going with my Mets. They added Bichette, Simeon. I'm not saying I'm buying fully in. Kodai Sengai looks like the old Kodai Sengai. Nolan McLean, Rookie of the Year prospect, but right at the front end of that staff, Freddie Peralta, added via trade, although we had to give up Jet Williams. But I'm picking the Mets, and I hope they do me justice as well. I'm also going with the Cubs. I don't think they're tremendous, but I think they still have enough to win the division that they're in. And you can't really pick against the Dodgers, right? They continue to add pieces after they've already won 2 World Series in a row. I don't know where the money's coming from. Well, I do know where the money's coming from, but just continue to add players, Tucker, Diaz, and the like. So let's go back to the American League and pick these 3 wild card teams. I think if it wasn't for the Blue Jays, the Yankees would win that division. So I'm going to take the Yankees as a wild card team. Detroit. A.J. Hinch is one of the best managers. He gets the most out of the least. They've got Skubal. They've added to that pitching staff as well with Valdez from Houston. I think they're a little light in hitting, but I think they're good enough to get it done. I think that third wild card is going to be between Houston and Cleveland. And I hate to pick 2 teams for one spot. Houston lost a lot, so I might lean Cleveland here. If I have to pick one, I'm going to go Cleveland. Let's talk about an upstart team, right? Chicago White Sox. I'm not saying they're going to be a contender, but they're going to be. And again, this is easy to say when they're the worst team in baseball. But they've added some young pieces. They have some young pieces already. I think they're moving in the right direction. So be on the they'll be on the uptick. Not just ready to compete yet. All right, let's go to the National League wild card. I did not pick the Phillies, and I know Philly fans are going to throw daggers at me or put me on their dartboard. I think they lost too many pieces. Zach Wheeler is probably not going to be back in time. I think they're going to be, good. I just don't think they're going to be great. But I really like what Arizona did with some of the pieces they added. So I'm going Arizona. Milwaukee, I know they traded Peralta, but they still got a great staff with Mizalowski and others and some young hitters. And so I'm going to go with them. And I like the Reds. I think they're also on the rise as well. They got a great manager, and Francona, Hunter Green, a Cy Young candidate, Ellie De La Cruz, potential MVP candidate. So I'll go with my 3 wild cards: Arizona, Milwaukee, Cincinnati. And much like the White Sox, keep an eye on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Again, they're not going to be competing for a playoff spot, but they've got a nice young team Anytime you have Paul Skeens, it feels like it's a potential win every time he takes the mound. They've got Bubba Chandler, who's looking ready to take, uh, you know, get some accolades on the mound, and others. Connor Griffin, the infield, O'Neal Cruz. I think they play a lot better. I think they win quite a bit more games than last year. All right, let's go to Cy Young. So let's start in the National League this time. You got Paul Skeens, Yamamoto from the Dodgers, and Hunter Green and Christian Sanchez from the Phillies. Those are the four I would consider the front runners for that award. I'm going Skeens, and here's why. Yamamoto's good. The Dodgers are legit. He's going to win games. Skeens is going to win more games this year with a little more potent run-scoring lineup. And he won it last year without that. So I think he's going to be, his numbers are going to be similar, but I think he gets more wins. And now he has that reputation of being one of the best pitchers in baseball. So I think he gets it, but those are the other candidates. I like Hunter Green a lot as well. Sanchez, still a good pitcher. I just think for the opposite reason, the Skeens, I think Philly may score less runs for him, and some of those win totals will be lower. Not that he had a lot. I think he had 13 last year. Let's go to the American League Cy Young. And a lot of, some candidates here. Obviously, you start with Tariq Skubal. I think the only thing that's hurting them is like Detroit still have him on the trading block. Is he blocking that out? I know the arbitration hearing was contentious. I think eventually a change of scenery might be necessary for both parties, the Tigers and himself. Garrett Crochet from the Red Sox is steadily becoming one of the best pitchers in the game. You got Jacob deGrom. I talked about him with the division winners. I probably jinx him, but he looks very similar to the deGrom of old. I'm not picking him to win it, but he's a candidate. I don't know if he gets enough innings pitched to get it or strikeouts, but he's in the mix. And a sleeper Cy Young in the American League, former Ranger, now the opening day starter for the Kansas City Royals, Cole Ragans. Keep an eye on him. I'm going to go with kind of the chalk here. I know it's easy to do, but it's hard to pick against chalk sometimes. And I'm going to go with Tariq Skubal. I think he repeats as well. So I got repeat Cy Young Award winners, but some other candidates will be pushing them. So let's talk about, let's do MVPs next before rookies of the year. So let's go with the AL. Aaron Judge is the defending champion, so he's got to be a candidate. Some other guys to keep a lookout for. Julio Rodriguez, he's quietly sort of rebounded from a bad season a few years back. He's better than you think, or better than most think. Guerrero Jr., the Blue Jays are going, really almost were basically one out from being World Series champs. He's a big reason why, so you got to put him into consideration. And the guy I'm picking, it's not Judge, but the guy I'm picking, 5-tool. I love him if you follow my content. I think he's had great years already. I think this year he has just one of those years that can't be denied. And I'm going to go with Bobby Witt Jr. for the Royals. I think the team takes that next step, and I think he takes that next step. Even though he's already a tremendous player, I think he goes to that next level. So Bobby Witt will be my pick. Let's go to the National League. Obviously, you got the defending champion, Shohei Ohtani, a guy that's hard to pick. If he's healthy, it's hard to pick against him. Juan Soto from my Mets, Paul Skeens, Pirates, and another guy that I don't, if he stays healthy, he's healthy right now. He's another 5-tool superstar, and that's Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm going to go with the top two in my book here. I know it's hard for pitchers to win it, so I'm not going to pick Skeens. Acuna's a sort of an injury risk, so I'm not going to put my money there. And I'm going to go Shohei slightly over Soto. And Soto had a great year last year, and I think the Mets win that division, like I already said. I'm going to go Shohei because I think, you know, I didn't mention him in the Cy Young discussion. I think he's going to pitch a lot more this year. I think he's going to pitch in key spots. And I think he's going to be a very, very good pitcher when he's on the mound. I don't think he'll win the Cy Young because I don't know if he'll get enough innings. But think he pitches a lot more, pitches very well. And, you know, he may not have the same type of year hitting as he did last year, but he's still an incredible ball player. When you add the more pitching stats this year, I think it's going to be hard to pick against them again. So I'm going to go in the NL MVP race, Ohtani over Soto. And I think the pitching numbers are going to put him over the top there, folks. So we'll see how that really plays out. All right, Rookie of the Years as we're coming down the home stretch. Let's start in the NL. Some really nice names here on the NL side of things. That's going to be one heck of a race if all these players are in the bigs, and I believe they'll either start there or wind up there, right? Connor Griffin from the Pirates, shortstop, looking very good in the spring. Going to be hard to send him down. J.J. Weatherholt for the Cardinals, another infielder with some multi-position versatility. He's going to start with the big club. My guy, pitcher for the Mets, Nolan McLean, still retains Rookie of the Year eligibility. Another Met, right? We got a youth movement, even though they traded some pieces away. Carson Bench tearing it up in spring training. It's going to be hard to send him down. And even if he does, he won't be down for too long. And I really like him. Kind of does it all and pretty good defensively. So all candidates. You know, I'm going to go with Connor Griffin. I think he's going to have a pretty good year. Carson Bench, if he plays and starts, he could be him. Weatherholt, again, this one is too close to call, as they say in elections, right? I don't think McLean wins it. I think he has a solid year. I think one of these positional players takes it. All right, let's go to the American League. 4 names there as well in my book. Kevin McGonigal from the Tigers, another shortstop. Carson Williams, third baseman from Tampa Bay. Kazuma Akamoto, Japanese third baseman, a little bit older, coming over and making his major league debut for the Blue Jays, basically replacing Bo Bichette there, or at least in the lineup. And Samuel Basallo, who got a little taste last year with the Orioles catcher. He'll be probably alternating between catcher and first base. And some big names there. I think some people may be shy to vote for Akamoto because of his age. I don't think that's necessarily fair, but I think there'll be some age bias there. But he's not super old either. If I have to pick one, I think some of these other guys will have some struggles this year. Carson Williams, again, very good talents. McGonigal might have some struggles. I'm going to go, I want to say dark horse, but I don't know if he really is. But I'm going to go with Samuel Basallo from the Orioles. I know he batted 170 last year with his cup of coffee, but I think he kind of puts it together. I think there's some veterans on that team, young veterans on that team, that can help him. So he's a guy I will pick for American League Rookie of the Year. Let's just talk some players in general. Some guys I think are going to backslide. And so when we talk about hobby and buying cards, right, you have to be careful. To me, you have to be careful with some of these guys. I'm not. Cal Raleigh is very good, but there's no way he puts the year together that he did last year. I think that's just an incredible season of all time. I think he kind of comes back down to earth, probably 30 home runs. I don't even know if he hits 40 again. You know, maybe he'll prove me wrong. So I'd be careful. I think some of the buzz wears off there. Kind of struggled in the WBC, including didn't get the start in the championship game, although I don't necessarily agree with that decision by DeRosa. Mookie Betts had a bad year last year, some nagging injuries. He's getting older. Mookie Betts is still going to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I just don't think he's going to have a great year again this year. I don't think he's going to be terrible. I just think we've seen the best of Mookie Betts. Maybe it's a buy low candidate if he starts to struggle again, because like I said, he will be in the Hall of Fame. Another guy that sort of fits this bill, and I almost think every year is going to be the year he starts to regress, and he continues to prove me wrong. The ageless wonder, right? Jose Ramirez for the Indians. First ballot Hall of Famer. But when is the year that, you start to see, dents in the armor? I think it could be this year. And again, if that happens, it might be where you can sneak in there and get some nice cards of his as he gets ready for his Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which will be eventual. Another guy who had a great year last year, I should say, had a great first half, and he did not have a great second half, and that's a little worrisome. And that's, I think, pitchers started to figure his weaknesses out. He's going to have to go to the film room if he's going to, be the player people hope and think he is, and that's Pete Crow Armstrong of the Cubs. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to be terrible. He's got too much talent to be terrible, but I just think he's not going to be the player some folks think he is. So it might be an opportunity to sell early on him. Again, do what you want with this information. Another guy who's aging out, is Chris Sale. I think, and again, he's going to be a Hall of Fame pitcher, but I think there's going to be some regression. So, again, might be an opportunity to scoop up some nice Sale autos and rookies and that sort of thing. So those are my sort of backslide guys. Let's talk about some uptick guys, right? I know he has trouble staying healthy. Corbin Carroll, I think, can do that this year. I think that's the reason I picked Arizona as a wild card team. People have sort of jumped off the Corbin Carroll ship, if you will. It's a good opportunity to get some Carrolls probably cheap if the rebound is what I predict. Dylan Cease, I think, got that big contract in Toronto. I think he's going to earn some of that this year. He will be better. How much better? I don't know. A guy that came back from injury, struggled last year, but I still believe in him. He has some multi-position versatility as well for the Reds. Matt McLain, I think he puts up some surprising numbers. I don't know if he was going to get a lot of hobby love per se, but I think he's going to be a rebound player. O'Neal Cruz is, kind of, we forgot about him because he hasn't had that big season. Is this the year? I don't know if this is the year, but I will say this. I think this is the year he starts putting those tools all together and having a better season, and we take notice. He's right now, a good buy low candidate as people have moved on to other guys and sort of forgot him. And one last guy in this category, Adley Rushman. I still like him. I think playing catcher every day sort of took some toll on him, wear and tear. I don't think he's going to have to do that this year. I think he's going to do some DHing, maybe a little bit at first base. I think him and Samuel Basallo are sort of going to take turns to prevent either one from having too much wear and tear on him. So I see sort of a bounce back year for Adley Rushman. Again, another buy low candidate for card wise. So let's finish up with my World Series predictions. So from the AL, I think I'm gonna go with Toronto. I think Kansas City can make a run. I think they're a year or two away from maybe being in the World Series. So I'm gonna go Toronto. And man, I think it's gonna be I'm gonna be a homer here. I think it's gonna be the Dodgers. and the Mets, and it's hard to pick against the Dodgers. And I feel like I'm going to hope it's the Mets, but I feel like if I pick the Mets, it will jinx them, and it won't happen. So I'm going to go to Dodgers. So we're going to get a World Series rematch, and maybe it's because I don't want the Dodgers to win. Maybe it's as simple as that. I think it's another 6 or 7 game series, and I think the Blue Jays are going to lock in. Remember the agony of defeat last year and how close they were. And I think the Dodgers maybe get a little complacent, thinking, because of who they are, they can just throw their jerseys on the field and just win games like that. And I don't think the Blue Jays have that fear of them. So I'm going to go Blue Jays in 7 this time in the World Series rematch. So there you go. Rookie of the Year candidates, MVPs, division winners, World Series pick, Cy Young picks. Let me know what you think. Did I forget somebody? Ellie De La Cruz is going to have a good year for the Reds. I know I didn't mention him really that much. But did I forget someone? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know. Always appreciate the feedback.